Hello, I'm Michael Boyajian, and I'm going to be talking a little bit more about my latest Jeri book, which is in Jeri's voice. So it's sort of like you'll be hearing directly from her while you read this book. Most of the sketches are in her voice. There's maybe one or two where I'm adding some kind of direction. Again, the name of the book is Jeri, the sketchbook of Jeri Wagner, artist. And again, as I've said before, is taken from her favorite author, Washington Irving's big hit book, which was early on in his career, which was a sketchbook of Jeffrey Crayon Gentleman. And again, some of the big short stories of Washington Irving are in that book. The Legend of Sleepy Hollow and Rip Van Winkle. But anyhow, the titles aside, it's basically a notebook, sort of, as I've said before, like F. Scott Fitzgerald's notebook, where he's just randomly going through notes in his mind. And that's what Jeri's doing in sort of a chronological order here. And right off the top, she begins by discussing her artwork, the different media she went throughout her career. When I met her, she was into wood constructions, and unfortunately only two remain. One actually over my shoulder on the wall in black color, and then one in a photograph, which is the one she gave to me early on when we started dating. And she had quite a few of them, but over the years, not too long ago, they just started to disintegrate, and she said there was no way she can get them back together again. It's a shame. Anyhow, we have the one over my shoulder, which is in great shape, and the one in the picture. But after the wood constructions, which were inspired by two artists she got me into, Louise Nevelson and Louise Bourgeois, two very great artists, and some of their stuff is right here in the local area at the Beacon and at Storm King Mountain Sculpture Park or Art Center. After that, she got into collage, and that's what propelled her, along with help from a feminist art group, propelled her into really high levels of the art society. Some of her collages, mostly small works, were in Chelsea right off the bat, and Soho. Some in the Hudson Valley, and some even in Europe. And one show she just kept trying to get into with her small works, but couldn't get in year after year, was the NYU show in the Village. Then one year she broke through. They took in one of her pieces, and we invited everyone we knew down to the opening, and we packed the place. And for Jeri, that was her arrival. Forget Chelsea, forget Soho. The small work show at NYU was what she was really after. And unfortunately, that was the last year of the show. Wouldn't you know it? Anyhow, why they ended it, I have no idea. But she also showed locally when we moved up here and in Poughkeepsie at an art gallery up there, and took first prize. And we were there with a lot of our friends, and it raised a lot of eyebrows, like, hey, wait, this is a serious artist here, you know? But Jeri was ever the calm and cool person and said, Mike, get my collage off the wall and let's go celebrate at a local Mexican restaurant. So we just took off. Anyhow, after collage, she had a finger injury, so she had to change to a different media, although she did come back to collage, I believe, later in her career a little bit. But she jumped into ceramics, and she loves ceramics. And she took off from the Met and got a job for a few months at the Y around the 57th Street, I think. And they gave her free access to all their pottery equipment, the kilns, the wheels, everything, the clay. And she met a lot of the top potters in the city at the place, and they liked her work so much so that they traded ceramics with her. And I've got on the shelf over here. Let me see if I can swing the camera around. If you see right behind the pumpkins there's some pottery up there. That's not ordinary pottery. I'm not familiar with pottery, but believe me, those half dozen pieces are from some of the top potters in the city. She left Hawaii and went back to the Met. The Met took her back real quick because the Y went out of business for some reason. And she continued doing ceramics up in the Hudson Valley here at the Garrison Art Center. She'd get off the train and go walk over to the studios and do her work. And then I'd come and pick her up after she was ready to, when she was ready to come home. It wasn't too far a drive, maybe 15, 20 minutes. And that continued. And then she got into fabric and did a lot. I mean, she had I don't know how many tons of yarn upstairs. But she had really super duper looms that were she purchased directly from Poland. They were known for their looms there. And we had 2 really high-end looms up there, among other types of fabric equipment. So she was into fabric art, and she loved doing knitting while watching politics on TV, like the character in the French Revolution, Madame, I forgot what, Defarge. Yeah, just knitting away there. Anyhow, in addition to that, she was always good at camera work, and my parents, as a wedding gift, bought her upon her request, a Pentax Super Program, which at the time among film cameras was top of the line. But when we went digital, we were just using point and shoots and readily put the film cameras aside just for ease. Today, all I use is my Apple 14 to do any type of photography, and it gets the job done better than a point and shoot, but it's nowhere near the power of the camera I bought Jeri, which was a Canon Rebel digital SLR, and she took to that, but only in sepia did she focus on. And as an aside, no insult to Italy, she loved Florence, but she got a bad vibe in Rome. I don't know what it was, some kind of bad energy. But the best sepia photography she took was in Rome. And it's terrific. Let me see if I can swing you around there. Down by the bottom of the entertainment unit there. Yeah, you see it? Yeah, it's not bad. Anyhow, it's fun how we can move this around. But anyhow, that's the story for now. And that's basically it. She went from wood to collage to ceramics to fabric to photography. And that's it. And the book is The Sketchbook of Jeri Wagner, Artist.